Dude, I already beat you to it, dude. I went, took a deuce, took a nice
Yep.
little piss.
Yep. Fuck, man. I didn't want
I'm
to sit
ready.
here and start talking and be like, oh, fuck, I got to pee.
Yeah, bro. It's stage
Oh,
fright.
how are you doing,
So
man?
I've been doing all right, dude. It's been kind of crazy the last couple weeks, but I've been doing pretty good. Not too bad. I can't complain too much. I'm still here, still doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Is it still going good? Busy or?
Yeah, it's been going pretty good. I mean, it's a little slow right now. Slow season. Everybody's spending
Yeah.
money, I'm sure, on Christmas and all
Yep.
that jive. But luckily, we've had enough to keep us busy and keep us going. So, been trying to use
Yeah.
this time right now to kind of catch up on projects that I've been kind of putting off throughout the year. Like
Yep.
on the lift right now, I got my brother's bike on there. He was in an accident about a year ago now, and we kind of just been piecing his bike back together. And it started out as a street bob, and it's kind of a lowrider S clone now. It's got a couple hand me down parts. So
Nice.
um, trying to get that going and get that ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you guys just primarily do service there, correct?
Yeah, we do service. We do a little bit of everything actually. We do service. We do some custom stuff. I recently been kind of getting into paint and kind of taking off with that. Been working on a little bit of pinstriping.
Yep.
You know what? Hold on. I'm getting like a weird echo. Are you hearing the echo?
Nope.
Hold on.
No, you sound good to me.
You know what? I think I have the video playing in the background, so I'm like hearing the live as it's going. Is,
Oh,
is there a way for me to back out of this and come and jump back in, or?
maybe. I have no idea. Never had that happen yet.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can jump back in. Give me a sec.
Oh, somebody else getting a bit of an echo, they said too. So, oh, now it's just me. We'll see if he can come back. Senor Dog's Foot, where are you at? Where are you from? How'd that work?
Yeah, better. That's
Better?
exactly what was happening. It was the video playing in the background on the app, but then I was also talking. I'm like, what the heck? I could hear myself talking.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So
This guy, Senor Dogfoot, is from Texas, and he was also in Kernville this year. That's crazy. That's all. You came out from Texas to go to Kernville?
yeah. So dude, that's my boy. So I actually grew up with him. We've known each other since we were 13 years old, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, we grew up in Fontana together, and went to the same middle school. Ended up going to different high schools, but always kept in touch, and we're always seeing each other on weekends. There would be weekends where I would literally, my senior year in high school, I would leave school on Friday with clothes. I'd stay at his house like the whole weekend. His mom was super cool. Like my mom was always working, so it kind of lined up, and
Yep.
we just kind of never lost touch. And he ended up getting into bikes a couple years back, and I already had a bike, and he was living out of state. And this year was actually last year. I think he got his street bob. He got a Harley, and he seen that we had gone to Kernville the year prior last year, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I want to go to the next one." And it's always
Yeah.
exciting to have people like ask about Kernville, because I swear Kernville is the best fucking motorcycle event, hands
Oh, it
down.
is.
Hands
It
down.
is.
It's one of those events where it's like if you don't know what you're missing, like you got to go, because I
Yep.
couldn't even explain it to you. If you asked me what it is, like I would tell you, and you'd be like, "That shit sounds crazy," but
Yeah.
it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. There used to be some other really good ones that are comparable to Kernville back in the day when I first kind of got into motorcycles, which is probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. There was a really good one out of like Redondo Beach area called Escape to Hazard County.
Yeah.
And we'd go up in the mountains of Santa Barbara, and it was just fucking, it was crazy, dude. I'll have to find some pictures of the old ones, dude, and send it to you. It was fucking out of control.
Like
It
yeah.
was a lot. It was a lot of fun though. It reminds me the same thing of Kernville, dude. Kernville. I've been going to Kernville now, I think, for 8 years or something like that.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I think I started going at the second one.
Yeah, because I was going to say that. I think it's like 10 years or something like that. It's been going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
So I
So
think the first one I went to was the second one they did, and I've been going every year ever since. And then we've been working at it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. We started. We used to give out bags, like a lunch bag with with like graham cracker and chocolate and marshmallow, and then a
Oh, for like
stick to get to make
s'mores?
s'mores
Oh
and shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude. The
yeah,
first year I went, it was 2019. I remember that, dude.
yep,
You guys
yep,
had like a s'more fucking kit. Like I remember that
yep.
shit. Wow, damn, that's crazy.
And it was crazy because people would come be like, "What's a s'more?" Like no shit, never fucking had one before in their life, and I'm like, man, that's so
Dude,
sad.
I swear, some people just don't live, man. Like if you've never slept on the ground, like you haven't
No,
lived, you know?
no. Yeah, that's people always talk shit to me when I'm like, yeah, I stay in a hotel at Kernville, and they're like, oh, you need to camp. I said, man, I used to camp off Kickstart Harleys when everybody
Yeah,
else, was driving Hondas. I'm like, I'm
yeah, for
good,
real.
man. I've done too. I've done it. I earned my
Yeah, dude.
time.
It's not your first rodeo for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but I do. I love Kernville, man. It's one of the best. It's one of the events I look forward to every year.
Yeah, me too, same. So,
You know.
dude, I missed 2020 because like COVID was going on, and it was just a crazy year. But after that, like we've been steadily going. No, I missed 2020 and 2021. Went back in 22, 23, and we're just keeping it going now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's exciting, man. I hope they can continue going it. I know they had some issues this year with insurance and stuff, and the things that are happening within California, man. It's been really,
yeah,
between CARB and different insurance outfits, man, they're really destroying anything we do here.
dude, it's
It,
crazy. Yeah, dude, it was funny because I read a post the other day. It's like, man, California, it's the state where you can change your gender but not your exhaust. Ain't that
yeah,
some shit? Yeah, it sucks for
100%,
that.
man. That's
Yeah.
real talk too.
Yeah, like
Now
that's
they're,
dude. A couple years ago, you'd be like, "That sounds stupid," but it's like that's the world we live in right now. Like that's
oh
reality.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We were. It's crazy because like it just yeah. I have I don't know. They're trying to outlaw like motorhomes. I'm like,
Oh, dude, yeah,
the
dude, dude.
vehicle that is driven the least amount on the roads, you're trying to outlaw that? Like, what are we fucking doing here, man?
Yeah, dude, I seen that, and they were trying to outlaw like old school vehicles, like classic cars. Like what?
Yeah.
Could you
Oh yeah.
imagine the people in California? Like, dude, California is like car culture
Oh yeah.
of like
Huge.
huge. Yeah, like, car culture out here is
Huge.
crazy. So like, can you
Yep.
imagine if people you're not allowed to drive a vehicle that you've had for a long time? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Dude,
That's
I
crazy.
have I've had classic cars since I was 16 years old, dude. That's what kind of got me moving towards bikes because it was easier to fuck with bikes than giant cars.
Yeah,
I
dude.
still
Yeah,
have like a 1971 Suburban right now with the 402 big block and like all the fucking shit, and it's fucking dialed in. But it's like I had a '64 C10 short bed last year that I finally sold. Like fucking, I've had old cars my whole life. I could not imagine like
yeah.
not being able to have that shit anymore. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's
Like
crazy.
that would put me. I'm already on the edge, dude. That would put me completely over the edge, and I'm
That'll
out.
put me over.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. Too
that's
much.
crazy.
Too much. I don't even want old cars right now, dude. They're too much work, but it would put me over the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up, dude. It's crazy. Crazy times we're living in.
Fuck, man. Yeah, it's the control factor of what they're trying to do to us here, man. It's been the hardest thing for me, man, just because we've I've been here my whole life. I grew up in Hesperia. I moved. From the time I was 2 years old till I was like, I think I finally moved out of that place when I was like 30 or something. You know what I mean?
No
And then,
way.
yeah, from then I've done Orange County, and I've been in Riverside now since 2017. But I just that's all I know is this place. But because of the business, we've traveled more and go to South Dakota and Wyoming and Colorado
Yeah.
and Texas. And seeing all these places, man, I'm like, man, this country is so beautiful. Like I never really left this state much, until
Yeah.
like I think until like 2019, I finally started like venturing out.
Yeah.
Um, and it's beautiful, but the hard part I have, and I'd love to leave the state, but where the fuck are you gonna move, man? Because everywhere you
Yeah.
deal with something.
Yeah.
You know,
No, for sure, dude. And it's
you got
crazy
to
you say
deal
that
with
because
snow. You got to deal with bugs that are gonna fucking take you
yeah.
away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got
No.
my property out here. I live like in the boonies between Riverside and Paris, and I
Yeah,
live.
you send me your address. I seen where you live. I already scoped
Yep,
you out, dude.
yeah,
So
yeah. And so I deal with rattlesnakes, scorpions, centipedes, and fucking
oh
like
fuck.
mice and like owls and like nature and shit. And I'm like, I'm good with that. But
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know about snow, man.
Yeah, dude, fuck, that's pretty gnarly. But dude, it's crazy that you
Yeah.
say that because I've thought the same thing. Like, I grew up in Cali. I grew up in most of my life. I grew up in Fontana, but I was
Yep.
born in LA. But mostly grew up in the IE. So like, that's all I knew until until I graduated high school. After that, I was in the military for 12 years, and so I was bouncing around from all over the place. I got to experience a lot of different places within the US, and I'm like, "Oh shit, like there's a completely different world out here." Like
Yeah.
from the little piece of dirt that I live on, like there's a whole world out there. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
it's funny that you say that because like I've lived in a lot of places. When I came back to Cali, like number one, the thing I could appreciate most was the weather. Like, even though I live out here in Fresno, like it gets hot and shit, but there's states where it gets fucking super fucking cold, super
Oh
fucking
yeah.
hot, tornadoes, like
Dude.
just crazy stuff, like and
Yeah.
but coming back here, dude, it made me realize like how expensive California is because, dude, I remember my registration for my Dyna back in Kansas was like $20 for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
damn, $20 for 2 years. Dude, I remember I had a 2019 Road Glide and I got my registration and it was almost $400. I was like,
Yep.
$400, dude. That's like the payment. Like, what do you mean?
Oh,
Like,
fucking A, dude. It's out of it's I mean, it's out of that's why I'm like trying to get rid of cars and shit right now, dude. It's out of control. I'm tired of paying for shit, you know?
no, yeah, for
It's
sure.
it's too much, dude. It's like everything like my truck, I have an '04 Excursion. It's like all straight piped, all diesel and shit. I got
Yeah.
that registered in South Dakota, because I don't want to deal with fucking smog and shit out here and
Smog,
bullshit, you
yeah,
know
for
what I mean?
sure.
And it's like it's just I don't know, dude. Every time you turn around out here, it's something, and
Something.
it's like. But here's where I have a problem because I'm like me and my wife. We want to eventually move out of California, and so I'm always looking at places, and there's places I love during the summer, like Wyoming. Fuck, dude, I think that state is one of the most beautiful states we have here in this country,
Oh,
and
for
during the
sure.
summer, that place is amazing.
Yeah. But the
Those
winter, dude.
winters ain't kind,
Yeah,
bro.
dude. I used to live in Wyoming. Dude, I lived in Wyoming for like a very brief period of time in my life when I was a young kid. And I remember getting there
Nope.
and it was snowing, dude. And it was just
Nope.
like the most snow I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like every morning,
I'm
like trucks
good.
come out to plow the road and it's like, dude, it's nuts. Like you seeing icicles off of fucking houses like this
No,
long, like crazy. Like
I'm
it's a
good.
whole nother world.
All I own is a hoodie, bro. I'll die.
Yeah, dude. Like I was not ready for that culture shock like a
No,
motherfucker. Yeah,
fuck
dude.
no. So I look and I look and I go to these places now, and like this year I got to see it during the winter time when I was out there. In winter time, I was in there. I was out there in March. You know what I mean? And it was
Oh
still
shit.
snowing and shit. I'm like, I don't even know how to drive in this shit, bro. Like
Mm.
I'm fucking good. So that's been a hard decision though, like to figure out like where the fuck do we go from here? I ain't going to Arizona. You know what I mean? Like too many people have like went there now. It's like they're fucking it up day by day. I don't want to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
If I go somewhere, I ain't trying to fuck it up. I want to adapt to what they already got going on,
yeah,
and I want my freedom, man. I'm going there for a reason. Like I
for a
kind of want to
reason. Dude,
disappear.
I think that's the problem is that Californians get a bad rap to where they're like, they're coming to other states and they're bringing like their liberal ideals with
Yep,
them. And it's like, dude, I just want to enjoy life, like everybody else, and
exactly.
not have to live illegal, doing crooked stuff to
Right?
own the shit that you want to own. Like, what do you mean,
Yeah, yeah. I can't sell you an exhaust pipe, or I can get fined.
Yeah, yeah. Come on,
Fucking bullshit, man.
it's crazy.
You know, it's that's been one of the craziest. Like, and it's all crazy. And as a business owner, man, California's hard, man. They like to take all your money. They like to take your money every time you turn around, dude. Like, and here's one of the weird. It's a weird story. It wasn't a big bill or anything, but like one day, like my old shop that we had in the city, like they would always want to come and like inspect every year. The insurance company would come by and inspect the sprinklers, right, to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure your racking and stuff was the proper. You have to have grates, not solid shelves and stuff, so water can go through. So they just come and do a quick fucking walk through, and they're fucking gone because I always had everything correct. And so I was out running some errands, and my guy that was working for me, he called me. He's like, "Hey, the fire department's here to like check the building out." Like, and I thought it was the insurance place, and so I was like, "Yeah, let them in. They're just gonna do a walk around real quick, and they'll be out." Nope, it wasn't. It was the fire department. So they come in and they wanted to check your fire extinguishers and things like that. So they go through, boom, boom, boom. Then they write me this fix it ticket because I had just got a new air compressor and I'd moved my other air compressor like it was like on a pallet, but I put it right in front of the fucking electrical cabinet, so you couldn't really open it. And so they like write me this little ticket thing like, "Hey, you need to move this, and we'll come back and check it out again in like a few weeks."
Yeah.
And then sure as shit, like 2 weeks later, they sent me a fucking bill, dude, for like $95. And I
Damn.
was like, what? And it was a bill like, if you don't pay this in the next 60 days, it goes up to like $150 and then up for like your
Yeah.
fucking like your car's your registration. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, they're fucking shaking me down, dude.
Yeah, they are, dude.
Fucking criminal organization right here, bro. I
Dude,
ain't
the
getting no
government is like a
protection,
gang,
nothing.
dude. Yeah, they'll
Oh,
extort you for
man.
your money, like straight up.
And it wasn't a lot of money or anything, but it was just kind of like weird. I'm
The
like, I didn't call you. I didn't ask you to come here. You just showed up. And I
yeah.
said, from that point, I told my guy, I said, if they ever do that again, you don't let them pass the lobby. I said, if they fucking say something, just tell them I will fucking fire you. If they, you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
they go back,
My
and I would
livelihood
have, but
depends
you know,
on this. You have to go.
yup, yup.
Like,
And I said, even if
damn.
it's me, if I'm here, I'm gonna tell him I ain't the owner, dude. He ain't here. Fucking,
Yeah.
get lost, dude. Like, it was just kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's hella crazy, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
California,
you
man, it's
gotta.
tough. It's tough out here for sure.
It is, dude. And they like to get us for everything they fucking can, take every fucking dime they can from us, and they just want us to keep producing somehow. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
dude.
bro? You
Dude,
know?
I don't know if you heard, but they're actually they're trying to do this like pilot program where they're testing out like this new tax, and they want to start taxing people on how many miles they drive a
Ah,
year. Yeah, dude,
yeah,
can you imagine? Like, dude, there's so
dude.
many cars on the road out here that, dude, there's people I know that commute an hour to work. Like,
Oh yeah.
can you
We don't.
imagine?
We're too spread out in California to have like a realistic like public transit system like New York or anything like that. Like these more populated cities have, but they're smaller combined and essentially. You know what I mean? We
Right.
don't. We can't have that, dude. You know, if we had the little ones like the one that'll take you from like where does it meet up like beginning of fucking LA County that'll take you deeper into LA County. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
those ones, but I mean, what are we supposed to ever do for true public transportation here? It
No,
ain't gonna
yeah.
happen.
No,
You
we
know
don't
what I
have the
mean?
room. I think like there's
No.
like the little spots that we have, like, dude, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're
Sometimes
full
I'm
of
like,
fucking
dude,
concrete tilt-up buildings now. We ain't got
yeah,
shit.
yeah, straight up, dude. It's
You
crazy out
know,
here.
it. I don't know what they're trying to do here, man. Like I see they've been pushing that shit in San Diego County too. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I think they are truly trying to run a lot of people out of here. You know
Yeah,
what I
like I
mean?
feel like they're trying to make it to work. Like living in California is like an exclusive thing for people who have money, you know, because
Yeah,
it's like they're trying to make it more expensive to live here in any way that they can, any way that they can nickel and
100%.
dime you, they're going to.
Yup, yup. What are you guys doing? How's building rent out there per square foot out there in Fresno?
So right now, I think we're paying like 80 cents a square
Oh,
foot.
that's
Yeah,
good.
so yeah, it's not too bad, man. Honestly, when I first moved out to Fresno, I moved out here back in 2017. Crazy story. So the army actually brought me out here. I originally came out here as a recruiter, and I used to work at a recruiting office in Fresno, and I did that for till January of 2022. Well, when I first got out here, housing was really cheap. Like I had never been to
Yeah,
Fresno. I have heard of Fresno, but I'd
yeah,
never actually been here. And
yeah,
so when I moved out here, I found a place to live. I had a little apartment, but then I eventually wanted to buy a house. And I seen how cheap housing was out here compared to like SoCal, and I was like, dude, I got to
yeah,
jump on something. So at
yeah,
18, I bought a house, and then a couple years later, met my wife, started having kids, and ended up getting out of the military January 22. But dude, I was glad I did because when COVID happened and people like this influx of people from the Bay that were working from home and influx of people from LA that were working from home started coming to Fresno because housing's
yeah,
so cheap out here, and they're like, dude, for half the money, I could go buy a way bigger house in Fresno. So I'm dipping, and next thing you know, we have this influx of people, and dude, properties just started taking off in Fresno. Like it started getting hard to find like a decent house for a decent price. Which I mean, compared
yes,
to anywhere else, Bay or SoCal, I mean,
yeah,
you can't really beat what it's like out here. So
yeah.
uh, the
Well,
rent's
it's a
not
big
too bad
city
though right
too.
now,
Yeah,
dude. It's
I mean,
huge,
it's
dude.
yeah,
I always
huge
tell
city,
people,
and they got a lot of subsidies too.
yeah. So I always tell people, dude, Fresno is like it's a big city with like small town vibes. You would have no
Yeah,
idea like how many people I run into that know somebody that I know, or just it's just like everybody's intertwined out here. Like it's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
I used to have family out there in Exeter and Visalia.
Oh, dude, crazy story, dude. I actually just picked up so I was in a car accident a couple weeks ago. I just
Oh
picked up
shit.
yeah, luckily I'm all right, but I picked up a 94 flare side in Exeter. A
Oh
dude was
nice.
selling it. Yeah, I was looking for something to buy, something cheap, and I found it on Marketplace, went to go look at it, needed some love, but I was like, dude, I could definitely see myself whipping this thing and
Yeah,
scooped
yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Dude, I went to go scoop it up, and the guy, he was just like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I use this as a farm truck. Like I had plans with it, but I'm trying to sell it because I need money right now." And
Yup.
he's like, "I recommend you towing it to Fresno, but if you want to drive it, like, don't be mad at me if it breaks down on the highway." And I'm like, "Dude, we'll make it one way or another, dude. And we literally took off, and we made it to Fresno. Like we
Hell
got a
yeah.
little issues, a couple check engine lights were popping on, but we kept on trucking, and we made it all the way there.
Yep.
So,
Fuck it. Yeah,
dude,
dude.
Exeter is a beautiful place though. Like
It
beautiful
is.
houses out there.
It is. There's a
Lot of room.
lot of money out there, bro. All the
Ah,
farm
I
money
believe
right
it.
there,
I
boy.
believe it. I believe
Yeah,
it.
you saw it's a
Yeah, dude,
lot of farm
I
money
drove
out
by a
there.
house, and we seen the house, and I was with my one of my apprentices at the shop. His name's Dre, and I was like, dude, fucking Redfin that house. Dude, it was a mansion, fucking massive property. Like it had like 9 bedrooms, this and that.
Oh
Like, dude,
yeah.
it looked like a fucking drug dealer's house. I was like, dude, that thing's
Yeah.
bad, and it was in the middle of like the country, like
Yep.
it's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, that place. I never been there before till years ago. Till it was my ex-wife's family that lived out there and shit. And I went out there and I was like, "What the fuck is this place, man?" Because it's just like orange fucking fields of farms. That Sunkist factories out there and shit. And it was just like
Yeah,
fucking big old houses and shit. I was like, "Oh man, there's some money that sits out here, huh?" And they're like, "Oh yeah."
yeah,
They
for
weren't rich people,
sure.
but there's some rich people out there.
Yeah, there is, dude. For
It's
sure.
wild.
It is
Yeah,
wild,
some of
man.
those subsets of fucking Fresno, bro.
Dude, it's
It's
crazy, and
trippy.
there's so many little spots. Like our shop is technically not in Fresno. We ended up finding a spot in like the city right next to Fresno, which is Clovis,
Okay,
which
yep, yep,
kind of same thing, a little more uppity and whatnot.
yep,
Uh, but yeah, you're right, man. There's so many little hoods out here. It's just when I was a recruiter, that's how I learned about all these little spots like Kerman,
yep,
Sanger, Tranquility,
yep,
all these little cut cities you never even heard of. Like you never even
exactly.
heard of them.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's a
We got
good.
them out here in Riverside too. It's a trip, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's weird as you're driving down like a certain road. All of a sudden, you just see these little green signs, but everybody will just put like Riverside on their fucking address. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's little subsets too.
No, straight up. Yeah, straight up. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. So what do you got? We got. What did this guy ask us? Freddie Gonzalez. He wants to know what do you ride?
What do I ride? Dude, I ride a 2017 Lowrider S.
Boom.
Dyna, yeah, a little Dyna.
Dyna. Dude,
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't see Dynas no more. Where the fuck all they at?
You know what, dude? I think it's because everybody caught on to the M8 Softail,
Yup.
the
I knew that
craze.
was
Like,
gonna
I
take
mean,
over when that started.
yeah, I think it was like a hard thing for people to let go of the Dyna. But I
Yup.
think once you ride an M8 Softail and even one with some motor work and some
Yup. Oh yeah.
suspension work, you're like, holy crap, this thing is nuts. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
it just
I was trying to. I was helping. Well, I am helping Builtwell for their parts and labor show.
okay.
Bringing in some bikes, some cool bikes to the display, like in the center of the show. And I was trying to do like a kind of a mixture. You know what I mean? Like baggers, FXRs, Dynas, Softail. And I was having the hardest time finding some fucking cool Dynas anymore, man. It's like
Yeah,
there's
dude.
like the ones everybody always sees at every single show, and then you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like no hidden gems right now. So
Yeah.
luckily, Damien Trinkler, he fucking Trinkiller, Trink, whatever. He helped me find a couple cool ones. So
Yeah, yeah.
we got some bangers coming for the show. So it's gonna
That's
be
what's
exciting.
up. When is that?
Yeah, yeah. What was that?
When is that show?
January. It's January 11th and 12th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come
Yeah, yeah.
down if you can. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Awesome.
it, it's like a lot of like vendors. It's all inside now, so it's vendors, and then it's like people like It kind of all came to started when Builtwell used to do the parking lot sale,
Yeah.
and then the parking lot sales kind of turned into this now. So this happens every January. It's pretty cool though.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely try
This
to
year
check
it's
that
gonna be
out.
2 days too. So
Oh, that's how you know an event cracks. Because if it's like they got it for 2 days, that's because they couldn't all fit it in one day. Kind of like
yeah,
Born Free, Born Free cracks too hard. It's 2 days type
yeah.
of thing. So
Born
yeah,
Free's
you're
gnarly, man. Gnarly.
yeah, yeah. Born Free is gnarly. Yeah, dude.
It's fun though.
I didn't get to go this year, man. I actually my bike was down. The security module on my bike. Apparently, when that goes bad, dude, I never seen this on a bike before, but my security module went bad to where if my bike had power, it would automatically be on the starter, like just on its own. So like anytime you'd hook up power to it, it would try to start and it wouldn't stop starting. Like the starter would just be constantly engaged. So
Wow.
I had narrowed it down to the security module, and I had to wait for a new one from Harley, and that happened like a couple days before Born Free, so I wasn't able to go this year.
Oh
But
fuck.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's wild. It's weird what some of those modules and those those systems can. can do, man. It can really fuck your shit all up.
Dude, you have no idea. Like, I feel like electrical, like, is just crazy sometimes. Like, sometimes shit fucks up that you don't even know why.
Yep.
Like, you try to explain to a customer like why this happened. Like, I have a bike
Uh,
today. It's doing that. You know the limp mode. A lot of the touring bikes
yep.
get that limp mode. All right. So we
Yep.
narrowed it down to his ECM, and dude, it was just like, how do you explain to somebody that they got to replace an ECM on a bike that's not that old? And it's like.
Yeah.
And then not only that, the scary thing is too sometimes is like if you don't really know like your electrical well, like to diagnose things like that, like you really have to know what you're doing because there's times where, especially if you don't know, like you could swap out a part and it doesn't even fix that, and you just spend a bunch of money on
Yeah.
a ECM, and it wasn't even that to begin with. So it's like
Yeah.
it's always one of those
Usually
nerve
it's nice to
wracking
just
things.
rob parts from a bike that you already have in there to test out on the other one.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, the old
You
switcheroo,
know?
the jump test. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
That's the way to do it.
ECMs ain't cheap. They're easy to swap, but they ain't cheap, and fucking it's I had when I sold my bagger I sold to that dude up there in the Carruthers, and he had an issue right away, like literally like almost like the same day that he got it from me. It threw a code. And so I said, I'll make sure it gets, I'll come up and fix it. You know what I mean? And he sent me like the code that it was throwing, and I looked at it, and what it was doing is on the throttle body, the plugs from the vibration, they were kind of like wearing, and the fucking
Yeah,
connection wasn't very good. You know what I mean? So I ended up having to take a plug system off another throttle body and throw it. I went up to his house and shit and fixed it for him, but put a whole new fucking plug system on it for him. You know what I mean? Hasn't had the
damn,
code ever again.
damn, that's
But
crazy.
just little shit like that, man, is
Yeah,
fucking.
dude, for
It's
sure.
shit
Little
you don't
things.
think of. It's like you just got to
Yeah.
sit there and fucking research. Find shit.
Straight up, dude. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I always tell people too, like it's really helpful when you got your service manual. Like a lot of people asking about like working on their bikes or what
Yep.
tools should I have? I always tell them, look, the first tool that you should have, I don't give a fuck what tools you have, is a service manual. Because if you don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing, that's the Bible, dog. That will tell you everything about that bike to like where the connectors are, how to take them apart, like a bunch of different things. You always see guys that they'll bring you something and they clip the connector because they didn't know how to
Oh,
depin it, and next thing you know, you're trying to solder things back together, and it just looks sloppy. So
yep,
if you
yep,
work on your own bike, make sure you get a service manual.
yeah. And there's a man. I gotta find the website, but there's a website that I know of too that fucking it's got 90% of the service manuals on there for free.
No way. Oh, you got to plug
Yeah,
me on that.
I'll have to find it and I'll send it to you too. I mean,
Yeah,
the electrical manuals, like
yeah,
everything, for free.
yeah,
You just download it, PDFs, dude. That's all I have. I just
yeah.
have
That's all I have
PDFs of
too.
everything.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
PDFs too, and I mean some PDFs are better than others. Like there's a website
yeah,
I use that you have to pay for them, but
yeah,
sometimes when I'm in a pinch, they come in handy. I mean they're $20, and
yeah. Oh,
you gotta rent it.
it's what the website's called? It's called Carl's Altar, like an altar,
Oh,
like a building.
yeah.
Carl's Altar. With Carl with a C. And
Okay.
that dude, he's got a fucking ton of Harley Davidson service manuals on there. Like all from like panhead shit all the way to fucking MA shit.
Oh, damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I just went on a binge one day and just download, download, download,
Download,
download,
download,
download,
download.
download. I
Yep.
just put them in a folder and said, I got everything now. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude, that's the way
You
we
know?
do it. Yeah, we have everything digital. Pretty much everything's on the
Yup. And
computer, dude.
I have a computer by my lifts, and when I got to pull something up, I just pull it up on the screen, find the page and shit. Because like I always forget like torque specs and shit like that,
Yeah, same. Yeah,
yeah, or
same.
like patterns, torque patterns.
Yeah,
I don't do service. I just fuck them. I fuck with bikes when I fuck with bikes. So if I do like a cam job on a fucking bike, it's like fuck, man. I don't remember the torque spec or like
yeah.
I want to make sure I do everything in the right order and
The
stuff.
right sequence. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
Especially when you're doing cam work, man. I always tell people that's like
yeah,
open heart surgery on your bike. Like you
yep,
want to make sure
yep,
you don't want to have to go
exactly.
back in there to fix something.
No, fuck no,
No,
dude. I don't like doing things twice at all.
no, fuck no.
So I try to do fucking things the right way. You know what I mean? And try to make sure everything's nice. And dialed in. I'm
Yeah, hell yeah,
I never claim to be a mechanic, but fuck, dude. I
yeah.
can get down.
So how did you learn to wrench?
Um, Volkswagens.
Oh
I
shit,
started
no way.
doing I started doing Volkswagens when I was 16.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, we used to build. I was in car clubs and all that shit when I was a teenager, and had a fucking like slammed out fucking Volkswagen and fucking doing burnouts, breaking nose cones off transmissions and shit.
Damn,
So
that's crazy.
my my buddy that got me into Volkswagens, his dad would teach us how to fucking rebuild them and fuck with them, and you know what I mean. And I just always wanted to work on shit. So um, And one day my dad bought a sandrail and a Volkswagen sandrail, and he didn't know how to work on it, so I had to work on that. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's
So
sick. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the best way to learn,
like,
though.
yeah, yeah. And then I've been in manufacturing since I was 19, probably. I
Damn.
started working at Daytech, which was the largest aftermarket Harley frame manufacturer in the country. We made all the this is during the fat tire chopper fucking time.
Like early
We
two
made all the
thousands.
frames. Yeah, yep. We
Yeah,
made all the
I
frames
remember, dude.
we made all the frames for American Iron Horse, Big Dog, like all those companies. We made all their frames,
That's
and so
crazy.
I started machining and stuff there, and I've always been in manufacturing in one form or another, essentially.
Dude, that's
So
crazy. That's crazy that you talk about the fat tire scene because I feel like that's when I first like started kind of getting into bikes. Was I was a kid during that time, but I
yeah.
remember like me and my mom would watch fucking Discovery Channel and we'd fucking
Oh yeah,
watch the biker build offs and Paul
yep,
Senior and
yeah,
Billy Lane and all these dudes. And dude, I remember like watching these guys. I'm like, man, like how the hell does anybody even learn how to do any of this?
yeah.
And it's just like it's crazy. It was a different time, for sure. Like bikes were
Oh yeah.
way crazier during that time.
Yeah,
And
everything was handmade, man. And when I got into bikes, actually, so at that time couldn't afford a bike. I mean, those times, I mean, bikes were fucking $70,000. And I mean, when you relate the 70 grand to the amount of money being made back then, that was a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean?
yeah, hell
Um,
yeah, especially during that time.
I mean, it's a lot of money now, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, during that time, it
money's a
was
little
way more
different now.
money. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I had friends that would build them, and stuff like that, and I'd be like, man, I fucking want a bike. I mean, I want an American Iron Horse so bad, like they had the right frame, and fucking. I mean, I still love them. I would totally build one just for fun. You know what I mean? And
but
just to hop around. But when I finally bought a bike, I was like 29, I think, and my first bike was a '69 Ironhead. And so I
that's
fucking bought
that's
a bone
crazy.
stock bike and I built the fucking rigid chopper out of it and fucking, kickstart, right side shift, fucking started doing chopper shit.
Damn, that's dope.
And it just all this, I was like going through a divorce at the time. So I was living like I was renting rooms and shit. And I had the house we were renting, I had a garage and I just started fucking building this bike on the floor in a fucking garage. And that's
Damn,
kind
that's
of what
crazy.
started everything that I do today. It's kind of a weird evolution, but at one point I got into dynas and moved forward from there, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
just motorcycles have been my whole life now.
yeah, no, for sure. It's crazy how that happens, huh? I feel like
Yeah.
because people ask me about bikes and like, how did you get into bikes and things like that? And I told them, dude, it literally started from taking a fucking course. I took a course, one of those
Yeah.
little, was it the beginner rider course? And
Yeah.
it was something I had to do because during the time I was in the military and it was a requirement that you have to take a course before, even if you have a license, even if you have a bike, they don't give a fuck. Like you have to take that course first before you're able to ride, authorized to ride, right? So
Yeah.
fucking took the course and I remember I rode this little Honda 250, little Rebel, or it was like some little bike, dude. But it was just the experience. I was like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
I knew immediately, like,
Oh yeah.
this is gonna take over my life. Like, this is something different, like I've never
Yeah.
felt this way before,
Yeah.
and it just grew from there, and it took off.
Yeah. It's man, it's a lot of work every day. I mean, it's a lot of work every day, and some days don't necessarily pay off, and you take them as a loss and you keep moving forward, and it's
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I wish I'd have gone to school for business. You know what I mean? Like, it would probably help
Yeah.
us all.
Yeah, a little bit,
But
huh?
it's I don't know, man. Like, I really do love what I do, and I've had a lot of jobs. I mean, not a lot of jobs, but I've had a lot of shitty jobs. I'll say, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've ran full fabrication shops for people, and done all this shit and stuff, and it's just like every time I have a job like that, man, I fucking hate it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, there's got to be more to life than this, and this I just started focusing on what we do.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I'm making money with this. You know what I mean? And we did. You know what I mean? This year's been a fucking rough year. We've gone through a lot of bullshit this year with those fucking chomos and things like that. You know what I mean? We've had to deal with, and I don't know if it's done yet. I don't know if our lawyers are done talking. I don't know. I'm fucking hoping, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
been a
Yeah.
rough one, and put me through a fucking mental fucking game, dude, that I had to fucking deal with on my own. You know what I mean? But
No, for
it's
sure.
it's hard too, because like, and because it's like your shop, man. You put everything you got into it, and it's you. It's part of you. You know what I
It's
mean?
part of you.
And that's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
and it's the same for this for me. And of course, you know what I mean. And it's like, man, when this all happened to us, man, it put me in through some depression, bro. Like
Dude, I can imagine.
it was worse depression than when I got divorced.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, no, for
Fuck.
sure. I can imagine, dude. Like
And
that's tough.
I ain't used to that, man. I'm a pretty happy dude, so you know, you had to really figure out if this is what you want to do. For me,
Yeah.
you know, I had to be like, I was for a minute there, I was ready to walk away from it all and just figure something else out. You know what I mean?
No, no,
And as
dude. I think as any business owner, I think we all have like, we all have moments like that where you
yeah,
ask yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this what I should be doing right now? Like, I feel like I could
100%.
be doing something where I could be making more money, with what I know how to do. But I mean, like you said, like, you've had shitty jobs, and I'm sure you've had jobs that pay well that were shitty.
Yep.
But
Yep.
something about having your own business, and dude, if you put in the work, and eventually it will pay off. If
Yeah.
you grind and you do your shit, I mean,
Yep.
it will come. It's like that. It's like what's that fucking movie, Field of Dreams, where the dude's like, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
straight up, dude. Like fuck
Exactly.
yeah, 100%, dude.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't do this for the Instagram followers. I don't do this for fucking, you know, I don't do this to be a cool guy or none of that shit, man. I'm a piece of shit dirtbag from Hesperia, dude. Fucking lived in the trenches my whole life. Will, you know, and I'll die in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
hell yeah,
I fucking love what I do. That's it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it's passion, man. It's fun. It's
straight
it's
up.
it's 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 like that last bit of freedom sometimes. You know what I mean? Like what we do, even though it's a lot of work, like, and it's got, like I said, man, there's days where it's just a total loss. But
Yeah,
when you get on that fucking bike and shit after you're fucking with it and building it and you know, and any bike, dude, I don't give a fuck if you just brought a bike in to do an oil change. Like, fuck it, you get on that
yeah.
bike too, dude.
No, dude. Dude,
It changes you.
yeah, dude. There's a satisfaction that's like really hard to explain when a bike comes in, and like this dude's stressing, and even like the bike's been to other places where like they couldn't figure something out, and then you figure
Yep.
that shit out, and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude, I did that shit. Like I did it.
Yep.
Like fuck.
I
Like
got you.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like dude,
Yep.
it just gives you this high that I can't even explain. Like fuck, dude,
Oh
I
yeah.
did that shit. And then the next
Hundred
day you do
percent.
something else. Like fuck, it's another
Yep.
problem.
Yup. Yeah, it never ends. You know, you could have the baddest bikes in the world, man, and it never ends. There's always going to be issues. There's always going to be problems. Like there's always going to be something. They're fucking like air compressors on the road that just rattle themselves apart, dude. That's their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
straight
and,
up.
and we're trying to do 150 miles an hour on them. You know, fucking.
Yeah, no, straight
It's,
up, straight up.
but
Crazy.
I don't know, man. I don't. I don't really want to do anything else. You know, I love. I get the. Sometimes I wish there was like 3 or 4 more of me here because fuck,
Yeah.
dude, I'm spread thin as fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
because
same.
especially with me taking on the manufacturing in house, like I got to do all the CNC machining and the programming and the fucking running the parts, and then you know shipping and receiving and parts assembly and fucking packaging the parts, and then fucking I got bikes down here that I got to fucking build and shit. I got like 3 or 4 fucking FXRs in here all of a sudden. Like, you know, it's like
It's
fuck,
nuts.
you know.
It's nuts, dude. I don't know how you do it. Like
I
sometimes
don't
I
know
feel
how
like I
I
have
do
a
it
lot.
sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot on my plate, but hearing what you got going on, I'm like, fuck, that sounds worse than what
Yeah,
I got going on.
it's you know, but again, it's like, man, I love it. You know, at the same time, like, it's like it's more rewarding working 15, 16, 20 hour days, whatever you got to fucking put in. You know, like there's days that I'll wake up at like 5 in the morning. I'm on the computer within fucking 30 minutes of waking up. I'm in front of that computer for fucking 8, 9 hours, and then I come in the shop and start working in here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's more rewarding than any job I've ever had. You know what I mean? Even those days that are L's, dude, it's still more rewarding. I
Yeah, dude.
wouldn't,
Dude,
you
for
know.
you, like, I could only imagine what it must be like. Like, so for me, like, just to give you like a little example, like, dude, there's been times where I've been on my bike in Fresno, and I see someone and they're wearing one of my hoodies, and I'm like,
Yeah,
look at that.
hell
Dude.
yeah,
So I can only imagine what it must be like for you to go somewhere like completely far from home, completely far from Riverside, and be like, Speed Kings, look at that
yeah.
shit. Like, dude,
It's a, it's weird, man. It's a trip. I don't even understand it sometimes because it's like, dude, I ain't nobody special, man. Like, again, dude, I'm just some fucking fat
dude,
white dude from fucking Asperia,
Dude,
you know.
honestly, like meeting you, like I remember when I met you at Kernville, like you were I was kind of drunk, but you were fucking cool, you were hella cool. I was like, damn, I thought he
Dude,
was gonna be like, because I've met other dudes in the industry, and some are cool, but there's some that are, you could tell like they think they're the shit. And I
yeah,
don't
that's
like
what.
people like that. I like people that are just cool, humble, like
Yeah,
chill and down to
I
earth, human being.
yeah, I never understood that, especially when what we do, man. people, they come in this industry, especially like with all this social media fame, and like, you know what I mean, like get some followers, and they think they're fucking they think they're like somebody's, dude. And I'm like, man, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like this industry's
Yeah.
like this big, bro. We should all be homies. Like fuck it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
I'll talk to fucking anybody who wants to fucking talk, dude. Like sometimes I may not look like I want to talk. You come up to me, we're gonna fucking talk, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Dude, yeah, for
I
sure.
love it, dude. Like I wouldn't be here without that. Like what I if I was a dickhead to people and they didn't want to fucking come talk to me or hang out or support what we do, I'd be fucking working for somebody at the end
Dude,
of the
that
day.
part
You know
right
what I
there.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
here because of everybody else, not because of me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
for sure.
I'm thankful, like every day of my life. I'm thankful, like, and I try to do my very best to, like, you know, put that out to the world with everything, even like with what we're doing here, like highlighting other people and letting people know who's around and
Yeah.
things like that, man. Like there's so many of us that just are man, we the you know the white picket fence and the fucking two and a half kids and the bullshit, you know, like all that, like that weird path that was put into place wasn't for us. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. Nah.
and and we all should be like as a community fucking trying to rise the tide to float all the boats around
Yeah.
us. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean? Like
sure. Dude, I remember you
it's
told me that. You told me that. You said the rising
yep,
tides will fucking lift all the boats together
yep,
or something like that. I was like, damn, that's some wisdom right there. I never really thought about it
yeah,
like that. But yeah, for sure.
yeah, dude. Like if we all succeed, then the community succeeding. You know what I mean? And the industry succeeding. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't succeeding, then you ain't buying parts that we need sold. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
all of
dude.
it. It's a big fucking deal, man. It's
We're all
you know
intertwined. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's so it's like if I've you know I've been fortunate to build a little social media following, but building media like this is what I enjoy. Like this is my favorite stuff. You know what I mean?
No,
And
yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
you know,
Dude,
and we're
I
and
remember speaking of your media, dude, I remember this is like 2019, maybe 2020. I remember I used to watch your videos. You used to do like
yep,
installation
yeah,
videos.
yep,
And you know what I always loved about you is that you were just like a regular dude. You know, you
yeah,
were like, yeah, I'm gonna take this shit off and and fucking you were just a regular guy. Like
yeah,
you weren't nobody special. And that's what I
yeah,
liked about
dude,
you is you were authentic. You were real. Like you
yeah.
were just a dude like I am, you know?
Yeah, that was
And
always the funny thing too. When people come in my shop and meet me and we start talking, you know what I mean? They're like, "Man, you're just like you are on the videos," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a full blown retard, bro, full blown."
yeah. Yeah,
I
hell
just
yeah, dude.
I don't got the energy to try to be somebody I ain't. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I've known who I was since I was like 19 years old. I figured out who the fuck I am, and that's it. I've been that way ever since. You know?
Yeah,
And
hell
it's
yeah.
like world's too short to try to portray something you're not and like try to
No,
fucking
straight
fit
up,
this
man. And not
shit,
only
dude.
that, from my experience, I feel like people can pick up on when someone is not being authentic, you know?
Oh yeah.
It
Oh
comes
yeah.
off as an act, you know, like
Oh
just
yeah. Big
be who
time.
you are.
Yeah.
Be yourself, you know?
Yup. I can see that shit with a lot of people, and then I see that shit with a lot of people in this industry too, especially with this like social media fandom bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm just like, and again, man, I've been doing this on my own. I've been doing this on my own since 2017. That was the last time I had a job, February of 2017, and I was doing it for 5 6 years before that. You know what I mean? And I was still working, right? And building it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and so I've seen a lot of people come and go, and that's like it sucks because like I've seen some good people come and go, and I've seen some shitty people come and go, which that's good. But
Yeah.
it's like this industry will eat you up too. It'll eat you alive, dude. And like there's sides of it that like can make you not want to do motorcycles anymore sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just running a business in general, like fuck this shit.
Dude,
Like
yeah, no,
oh
I would for sure running a business is not for the faint of heart. Like people think,
no,
yeah, you know how many people come in the shop, I'm like, man, it must be nice to have your shop. Like, motherfucker, you have no idea what you're talking about right now. You know,
yeah,
like it's a
it,
lot of work. Like it
it's
may seem
rough.
like we're fun, like don't get me wrong, we have fun, we do what we
Oh
do,
yeah,
but dude, there's so much work that we put in, like that people don't see when we're here late and or here
yeah,
super early, and it's just it's crazy, man. And it's just people don't know. People think the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not always greener, it takes a special kind of
yeah,
person to run a business for sure, and deal with the headaches and the problem solving that's involved in with entrepreneurship.
yeah. It's all on you.
Straight
Like,
up.
if your boy that works for you doesn't do the right thing, it's still on you. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
straight
Like,
up.
he fucks the bike up or doesn't fucking tighten something and something else goes wrong on a test ride, it's on you. Like,
Yeah,
you
straight
you know
up.
what I mean? it's there's little things, of course, people don't understand and don't realize, but again, I mean, I look at it this way: like before I really started doing what I do, like I never really had any expectations for my own life. It was just like I just work and I have a job and I just whatever. That's
Yeah,
what I do. You know what I mean? I never really went to college. I never fucking had any kind of training for anything. I just kind of did what I did and learned and learned and learned and ran these fucking shops and whatever.
that's
And I was
tight.
just like, and then I started doing this, and I kind of was pretty decent at it. You know what I mean? And like, with everything we did, and like, and I was like, man, it's almost like everything I learned to do kind of came together for this. You know what I mean? Like computers and manufacturing and fucking, welding and all the bullshit that I can do and working on cars and like, and then it was like, man, it kind of made me have some expectations. Like, what are you capable of? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, there's a lot more to life than just fucking going and clocking in, man. And it's like,
straight
I
up.
try to I try to like tell people that too. Like I have a friend that's local here. His kid does photography and he's good. And then like he was like, we went to lunch a few years ago and he's like, yeah, I told him to come work with me. He works the transit authority. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, he's 20 years old. Push him in the fucking photography for a few years. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah. Yeah, see
Like,
what he could do, dude.
trust
Especially
me.
now, dude. I feel like, dude, now it's so there's so many ways to make money in this day and age.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you have to go to college, you have to go do, dude. College is not the success, but not only success route. There's so many other ways
No.
to be successful nowadays. And
100%.
dude, and if you're good at something, find a way to make money doing it. Like
Yeah.
why
Well,
not?
fuck, and sometimes it's not always about the money, right? That's the part that sucks because sometimes it ain't always about the money. Like, um, there's times I look around and go like, man, I got too much fucking stuff, dude. I got to get rid of some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need all this fucking stuff that I have.
Yeah,
I'm a collector at heart. I always have been. Like, I like weird old shit. But
yeah, that's
like,
cool.
I accumulate shit or I save all these parts, these takeoff parts and shit. Like, well, I might need this one day in 25 years. You know what I mean? Like, put it in a
Yeah,
box.
yeah,
And it's like, man, sometimes you just got if you could live a I look around, I'm like, man, sometimes I wish I could just live a simple life where I got like fucking two things, like
yeah. I got a sock drawer and I got another drawer full of other random stuff, and that's it.
yeah. So sometimes it ain't all about the money, man. Like I know dudes that are super happy that got no fucking money. Like I
No,
just
for
want to
sure,
pay
dude.
my
Yeah,
bills
for
at the end of
sure.
the day. It's I don't know. I like toys though. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I can act like I don't.
No, no, hell no. I'm pretty sure you have a trailer, huh? I think I peeped it on. Now you're telling me I
Yeah.
scoped your house. I'm like, oh, this dude lives out in the cuts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I got a motor home and a fucking so a side by side and all that shit.
Yeah, that's tight.
I
You got
love the
kids?
side by. I love side by side, man. Because that's where I live. I just leave my driveway my side by side, and like
Oh
all my neighbors
shit,
got them. So we go fuck off at nighttime. Like we go climb hills and shit, and drink
that's
beer.
tight. Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah, that's sick.
I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. But I mean, it's so much. You know what it is too. Like, and this is the hard part, and you probably know this too, right? Like well, this was like a hobby for me at one point, right? Yeah, I made a little bit of money, or like maybe $100 a week or something bullshit. You know what I mean? Brought in a little side money, but it was a hobby. And then when your hobby turns into your full time gig, sometimes you need something to like pull your head out of it, right? So it's like,
Yes.
and so here's the two things that I do. One's really weird and one's fun and awesome, right? One is the side by side stuff. I like to go do that and fuck off in the dirt. It's fun. It kind of brings my brain out of this. The
Yeah.
other one, are you ready for the weird one? And I've told other people about this, but this one's weird. I do Legos.
No way.
I
What the
build,
hell?
I'll go on like lego.com and buy a cool fucking Lego and then I build it. And
Well,
I'll just
what's
fucking
the latest
veg
one you've
out.
done? What's the latest one
I
you've
got one.
done?
I did an Atari recently. I got this dusty ass one in the box right here. Hold on. I haven't moved this. When we moved here, it just got put up here in a box, but I'll show you one I did a while ago.
Oh shit! The Ghostbusters car? That shit's sick.
Yeah.
What
It's all
the
dusty.
fuck? Dude,
But
Legos have
yeah.
definitely. I remember when I was a kid, Legos were not as badass as they are now. Like my
No,
kid, my kid
I'll
has a
tell you,
Lego fucking Baby Yoda. I'm like, what the fuck? That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah, like there's some really cool ones, man. I got like a Nintendo one. It's like a TV, and then it's got the console and it opens up and you can put the fucking thing in and it's got a little controller and it's got a little crank on the fucking side of the TV and Mario will fucking go. Burp, 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 burp.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Dang.
there's
Stepping
some
it
fun
up.
ones, dude. And I'll just sit there like and I'll like just put it on a table in front of the TV like on the weekend at night or something, and I'll just kind of, dude. It'll take me like
Well,
2 3
yeah.
weeks at night to get it done.
No,
You
for
know?
sure, dude. Like, dude, I remember when I was a kid, I would do Legos. I was a Lego nerd when I was a kid. I loved Legos. I think that's why I
Hell yeah,
like building bikes and putting shit
yeah.
together. Like, I love that
Oh
shit. I
fuck,
don't know what it is. Working with my hands,
dude.
dude. I would not be doing anything else but working with my hands. Like all the, how you're talking about the computer stuff. Like, I have
Yep.
a partner and he does a lot of that stuff. And thank God because I fucking hate like doing
Yeah.
computer shit. Like in my brain, my head hurts like staring at the screen and doing computer stuff. Like I can't do that stuff. I have to work with my hands. But
Yeah.
but I agree though that you need something to kind of break off that, because when I first got into the shop, like I felt like it was cool, but it started to get to a point where I was starting to like kind of want to have a little break from, always just
Oh, yeah.
working on bikes. And then I got into
Yep.
painting bikes, dude. And
Hell yeah.
yeah, I've been doing that for like the last year, actually serious about it and actually painting stuff. And for me, man, dude, it's like I found a whole nother fucking world of
Yeah.
people and just, the creative process and just being able to make something dope, like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
Dude, big time.
2 weekends ago, I did me and a friend of mine, he's a pinstriper here in the Central Valley,
Yep.
name is Chris G. Um, dude, he hosted a class and he asked us to sponsor, like, his class, and we ended up sending somebody to the class. But I went and we painted a skateboard, and dude, it's just those 2 days of painting that skateboard was just like it was a lot of work, but it was like a different type of work,
Yeah.
like a different type of part of my brain that I got to use to make this dope ass fucking to make
Yeah.
something dope. It's not like
Yeah.
just mindless putting stuff together. It was just something different, and I don't know, man. It's crazy because I really find a lot of joy in the painting, man. It's been kind of like
Yeah.
starting to take off right now to where I'm steady doing painting all the time,
That's
and
awesome, dude. Well, it's it's nice to be creative, dude.
yeah, for sure,
I think everybody needs that as a human, dude. Like whether like even if you don't know how to draw, if you're just over there in the corner fucking drawing, because over time you're gonna always get better at drawing.
correct,
There's some dudes that just have it, like boom, they can fucking first time they ever pick up a pencil, they fucking draw. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like it's just sometimes you just need to unlock that other side, dude, and just create. You
yeah,
know,
straight
that's what
up,
it's
dude.
like too. Like the videos, like for me when we make the videos, when we our writer profile series,
Yeah, dude, I
doing
love
this
those writer
stuff.
profile series, man.
Yeah, they're so fun, and like again, it's like it's not even about me. It's not about the company. It doesn't matter if you've ever purchased parts from Speed Kings. Like I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I want to make cool videos of cool dudes about cool bikes and cool
Hmm.
stories. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't
Dude,
want to
yeah,
be in it. And I don't want to fucking be like, like it's not always about me, man. Sometimes it just has to be about the community. You know what I mean? And
yes,
that's kind of like my vibe on that whole series. Like I've never, I mean, except when we're doing one about my own personal bike, any other one of them, I'm not even in it at all. I don't want to be in it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I just it's like it's that person's
I
story,
I
right?
think that I think that makes it more authentic, like you're saying, like it
Yeah,
makes it more about the actual writer itself. Because I
yeah,
remember, dude, I've seen like all the writer profile videos.
yeah,
When they would come out, like I'd be excited to watch them because I thought they were so dope. I love the intro. You got the cool little guitar, riff
yep,
going, and then you see like the Craftsman ratchet and like the
yeah,
shit that you would have at your house. Like
yep,
this is what's in my garage right now. So it's like you
yeah,
can relate to it. And then you got this regular dude who's like, yeah, I'm stunting this fucking Softail M8, and it's
yep,
like, I remember that video. That dude was fucking talking about, oh, you don't need all this suspension, this fancy stuff, and he's just ripping and doing wheelies, and I'm like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
these are
No,
videos about cool ass dudes that do cool ass shit on these bikes. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man. Like we just did a cool one with this dude Martin. I met him out there at Kernville too. We did a cool one with him recently, and we're getting ready to do one I think with his cousin, who has one we've never done one that I'm aware of with a Sportster, and so he's got a pretty cool fucking
Oh,
Sportster. So I'm kind of excited to do one with a Sportster finally.
yeah, fuck
you
yeah,
know,
dude, sporties are
trying to
dope.
bring that series back again too, like a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
and trying to launch some with the podcast studio. We're hopefully going to start framing it up in the next 2 weeks or so, and it's going to be game
yeah,
on when that thing's up, dude. We're going to be
no, yeah,
fucking
yeah,
going hard.
for sure, dude. I would be super down for that. If
Oh
yeah,
yeah, hell
you
yeah,
send
dude.
the invite, I'm coming.
Oh hell yeah, dude. It's and it's going to be cool. It's like so on my property, I got a 2,200 square foot shop, and in the shop it's got a mezzanine. That's where I'm up. I'm on the mezzanine right now,
Oh
and
shit.
so the mezzanine is fucking 20 by 20, and so we're building a fucking whole room on the top here with air conditioning and everything, and then
What? That's
fucking
nuts.
yeah, a big window that's gonna look down at the shop. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be fucking up here, just fucking. It's gonna be
Damn, that sounds sick. Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
I'm so hyped, dude. It's just like that's another thing, dude. Because like the podcast, like this shit, and the podcast, it's like it's creating for me. You know what I mean? I don't know why, because it's not like we're doing anything, but just like chopping it up. What we're creating is content for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Information and and I'm just stoked people enjoy it at the end of the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
straight up. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. People like watching us talk. People like watching people talk on the internet. And
Yeah,
honestly, sometimes, dude, you never know who you're gonna talk to, and sometimes like you really find out some shit. You're like, oh, that's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. Like, and that's what's cool too, man. I just like talking to people. It's fun. You know
Yeah,
what I
straight
mean?
up.
Like everybody's got a different story. Everybody's been in different spots, you know what I mean? Like, it's
That's the truth for sure.
we've all had to as people as a whole, people we've all had to overcome something. You know what I mean? To be
Yeah,
where we
no,
are
straight up.
today,
Straight
you
up.
know? And I know like even like a lot of times like talking about personal shit like it definitely helps people cuz it's like, we all go through shit too,
Yeah,
you
no, we
know?
all go through shit, and a lot of times you don't want to talk to someone about it, but sometimes
Yep.
just talking to some dude and just shooting the shit is all you really need to just kind of get that
Yep.
shit off your chest.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, dude. It's yeah, no, it's great, man. Like I'm super stoked for that. We got a lot of things happening for next year. I think that's gonna really it's really gonna be cool. It's really gonna be
Fuck yeah,
fun.
dude. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
get rid
excited
of
for sure.
2024. I'm just gonna try to forget 2024, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, 2024 is a crazy year, but
It has
hopefully
been, man,
it
for
has. It really
everybody
has.
too. Like um, I don't know. It just seemed like a really weird year, like all year. You
Yeah,
know, like the vibe of the vibe and like just like floating around everybody. Like the vibe has been weird.
yeah.
Like
Everything's been kind of weird this year for sure, man. The
I
vibe,
don't
the economy, the dude,
yeah.
everything. Like it's. I don't know.
The government is just fucking like completely lost their mind like all on both sides of the fence. Like
Yeah,
everything's so fucking weird, man. I'm just like, fuck,
yeah.
dude. Can I just like disappear in like 100 acres or somewhere and shoot guns and fucking hunt my own food and
Not
just
not in California.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
not in California. But
Fuck, dude. I don't know. Some days, man, it's just like, god damn, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here and disappear.
mhm. Dude, but you
You
got your
know?
whole life set up here, man. Look, you're building you got a 2,200 square foot shop. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Fuck it. There'll be
dude.
more, man.
Where you going? Shit, I'm staying right
Yeah.
here.
I like
Yeah,
my spot. I'll never live somewhere else in California. This is my spot. So if we're
yeah,
here for 10 years, we're here for 10 years. Like I'm good with it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's we're very fortunate that the house that we bought at the end of 21, dude, and it was a fucking piece of shit. We like it was just this run down house with a cool shop on the property. The shop was already here.
Oh, that's
And
it.
yeah, the dude like he was like a hoarder. And like, dude, I
Uh,
mean like every drawer in the kitchen had rat shit in it and stuff. Like, dude, it was fucked up. So,
dude.
but it had had a lot of potential and like good bones,
Yeah.
dude. And so we,
Dude, those are the
I,
gems, dude. The houses are all fucked. Like, dude, you put some
yep.
work in them because you can get them cheap,
Oh yeah.
especially when they're
Oh yeah.
fucking rough. Yeah, you
Yep.
put some work into them, you get some money out of those for sure. You get some
Yeah.
equity.
It's like a really weird area that we live in where it's like, it's kind of like an equestrian area, like people have horses and ranches and shit. So it's
Yeah.
like, and it's right between Paris and Riverside.
Mm.
So it's like I can get to like I can be like at the grocery store in Riverside in like 15 minutes.
Oh, shit, right
But
on.
I can shoot 22s in my backyard and nobody gives a
That's
fuck.
sick. Because you
You
got
know
the
what I'm
best of
saying?
both worlds. So it's like you're in the country close enough to where you can, do country shit, but you're also like
Yep.
close enough to still go to the grocery store.
Yep.
It's not like a fucking mission. We're going into town to go get groceries.
Exactly. We have a little market like close by, like a little, fucking beer and snacks or whatever. You can drive your side by side to it and park in front of it and nobody gives a fuck. You know
That's
what I
sick.
mean? It's
Yeah.
it's uh it's pretty cool and it's like still like I mean like it takes me like 15 minutes to get to the 15 freeway. Like
Oh
oh,
shit, dude, you're
no
in
big
there.
deal.
Yeah, you're in
Yeah,
there.
no big
Where
deal.
you going? Where are
Uh,
you going, Steve? You ain't going anywhere.
yeah, I don't
Calm
know,
down.
man. It's
Get
hard.
used to the California. Get used to the red tape.
Yup.
You ain't going anywhere.
And well, here's the crazier thing aside of that, right? Like, and something we all kind of take for granted in the motorcycle industry. The motorcycle industry is here.
Yeah,
We
straight up, dude.
start every trend right here in California.
It's crazy
Every
because, dude, I've been saying that for so many years. Like, man, people talk so much shit on people from California, this and that, but they're always copying our style on the bikes, dude. It's like
Yep,
we're trendsetters. Like, they want to know what's going on, in the California bike scene.
yep,
Remember club style? Nobody was doing club style,
nope.
and then they took off, and that was like
It's
something
everywhere.
that originated here in SoCal.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah,
just,
it's everywhere, and it's always been this way in this industry. It's always been California first and everybody else later. But it took a lot more time because you had to see it in magazines right before social media and shit. And with social media now, it's it just moves at a rapid pace to the East Coast and fucking throughout this throughout all the middle states and shit. You know what I mean? It's just like boom. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
fucking
dude.
it ramped up hard. I mean, it is hard. I want to leave for parts of it, like because the laws here suck and like the freedom sucks a little bit. But I really live in a great place where we have
Yeah.
that freedom and shit, and
And it's home,
um,
dude. It's home.
yeah,
Like, honestly, it's home.
it is, it
I've
is,
been
and
to
like,
other states. I've lived in a lot of states, but every time I come back to
yeah.
California, I'm like, it's home. Like the West, ain't no
What
coast
about
like the West Coast.
what about? Okay, this is a really weird thing for me in my brain, like my brain, right? When you're in another state, it's fucking flat as fuck. Ain't no
Yes.
goddamn mountains anywhere. You can't see a
Yeah,
single
dude.
mountain, dude.
Dude,
I'm like,
when I was living in Kansas, I was like so shocked that there's like they don't have any mountains,
nothing,
any fucking mountains. So
nothing.
you get to like Colorado, you won't see mountains.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
My
grew
mom
up in
lives in
Fontana,
Kansas.
dude. So you see the fucking mountains right from my fucking front door. Like
Yep.
you see the mountains.
You're
And it's like, man,
surrounded by a mountain range out here.
yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah.
whole life. I've never like the furthest. I mean, I lived from in Asperia, top of Cajon Pass. Right, fucking real
At the
close to
top.
Fontana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I've gone to Orange County. I lived in Costa Mesa, and then Riverside. So I've just always been like in this little area. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never really left this central like Inland Empire area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's and so I've always been surrounded by a mountain range, like all sides. You can see a mountain.
No,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure. It's
and it's
crazy.
like I go to my mom lives in Kansas. She lives outside of Lawrence, Kansas in the country.
Oh,
And
dude.
fucking
Yeah, I know where
yep.
that's at.
Yeah. And so like the first time I went and visited her, because she grew up here, she moved there. And and I'm like, the fuck? I can see California from here. Like this is weird, man. I'm
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
like it, dude.
Mm-mm.
It's
Dude, I couldn't get used to it there. I lived there for 2 years, and I hated the weather. It got super
yep.
fucking cold. It was super windy all the time. The only thing I liked about Kansas was during the summertime, they would have like the most beautiful, like, dude, they would have like this, the sky would look like fucking Toy Story, like, the fucking
Oh
nice
yeah.
blue cloud. They have like craziest, like, fucking views like that. But other than that,
Yeah.
fuck that. It gets
Yeah.
hot, it gets super cold, it's humid. It wasn't my cup of tea, bro. I was ready to
Yeah.
come back to Cali.
Yeah, that's the been like another. I mean, I'm sure I could get used to it, like the visual, but that's been a difficult thing to think about. Like, you know what I mean? Just I don't know. I don't know. I'm fucking weird, dude. I just chalk it up to
Yeah, we're
that.
all a little bit weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah, for sure.
exactly.
I
Well,
think
what do
we
you got
went
on the
in.
lift? Let's look at some bikes that you got on the lift since we just bullshitted for a fucking hour.
Dude, we did, huh? Fuck. Okay. So I got my brother's bike here. It's a Softail Street Bob, but we did the front end from a donor bike. It was a Lowrider S, so it's kind of like a Lowrider S clone. He ended up getting on an accident on Grapevine like a year ago, broke his foot, um, and tacoed his front rim. So we got some mags from a Lowrider S. We did the front end. I actually have the tins, but I'm actually painting them.
Hell
But
yeah.
there's a little bit of a setback on that because some of those tins were actually in my car when I got in that wreck a couple weeks ago. And
Ah.
so, yeah, it kind of set me back a little bit. Not too bad. It was just a couple side covers, so it's not a huge deal.
Yup.
Um,
Yup.
but time is going to take a little more time than I originally thought. And then something from when you were coming up, when these
Yeah.
fucking bad boys showed up, dude. And
Wow.
this one has the gnarliest fucking intake. Like, careful, careful with this.
Fuck
Careful
yeah.
with
You want to
anything on
die
this
on that
fucking
bad
bike,
boy? What's up with that rear fender though?
dude. The rear fender is nuts. And check
What
out
the
the
fuck?
check out the fucking gas tank. I've never seen one like this. But the gas tank's also dangerous. It's got all
Oh
these.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's a nuts bike.
Is it the guy, the original owner, or did some guy just kind of come up on it, or?
I think some dude came up on it because the guy seems young. He seems like my age. So ain't no way he was the original owner.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, and he's having an issue getting it started. So we're trying to figure out why it doesn't spark.
yeah.
What else we got in here? We got this bike here. It's actually getting a whole new Baker transmission. We're doing a Dark Horse compensator, and then we're doing a I can't remember what. I think we're doing a Barnett clutch basket.
Nice.
Um, yeah, this dude had like issues with his transmission. Well, he was having issues with noise in his primary. We narrowed it down to his actual the output shaft on the transmission. It was way out of true. So yeah, it needed to be replaced, and
Gotcha.
we got waiting on parts for that sucker. Other than that, we kind of got a little bit of everything in here right now. Let me see,
Yup, yup.
a
What's
couple
the biggest project
batteries.
you have going on right now? Just is it that your brother's bike is the biggest project?
Yeah, and then I have another bike. It's a street bob that I'm actually in the middle of painting. It's a bike that we bought. We're trying to sell it. I actually did some flames on it. Um, that one should be we should be getting close to putting that back together soon. I just got to finish up a couple little details on the artwork, and hopefully within the next couple of days I'll start putting that thing together and hopefully get it on the market and give me some moolah.
Right, right. When were you painting out? You painting out of the shop too?
No, so I actually have a friend, Julian, Revival Auto Restoration. Shout out to my boy.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
he uh, he actually lets me use his shop. He has a shop where he does classic cars, and he's got
Hell
a
yeah.
couple of Impalas in there that he's restoring, and he lets me use his booth. So I usually paint at his shop on Friday. So I try to set like one day out of the week to where I could break away from what the normal stuff I'm doing here and just have,
Yep.
the apprentice and my partner Mikey kind of just run the day-to-day stuff here and me work on any paint projects we got coming in. So
Yeah.
we're trying to get to the point where we're literally a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
I think the thing where we're kind of lacking is like someone who can fabricate parts or like
Got
like a fabricator. That's basically like if we had a fabricator, there would be nothing we can't do.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah, that's a hard one people don't realize you need sometimes, you know what I mean? Just
oh
somebody that
dude,
can, it's
yeah, no
I'd
for
never
sure because
consider
that
myself a
that
welder, but
yeah, no, for sure, dude. Me neither. Like, I'm not a welder by any means, and I'm not gonna toot my horn and say like I'm the best mechanic, but I'm okay. I get by.
yeah, yeah.
And
Yep, yep.
but no, for sure, a fabricator and a welder, somebody that knows what they're doing with stuff like that is needed around. So if anybody knows somebody, send them my way.
Yep. There we go. There we go. That's awesome, man. I'm stoked. So how long have you guys been open now for?
So we actually opened up July of last year. So we've been in business a little over a year
Nice.
now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and
First year.
the way we got into it was there was a shop in town called Screaming Chicken, and me and my partner Mikey, I got a partner, um he found out that we were working on bikes out of my garage because we both used to work at the local dealership here in town.
Okay.
And when I first started working there, I had just got out of the military. It was my first job. And the end goal was always to have my own spot. Like, even when I went to go work at Harley, like, I never wanted to work there long. I just wanted to network there with people so that I could eventually, because when I moved to Fresno, dude, I didn't know anybody. I moved here
Yeah.
in 2017. I did not know one soul here. And so I really had to just, start from nothing, and so when I got out, like I tell people, dude, when I got out of the military, it was hard for me because for almost 12 years I was Staff Sergeant Delgado, but now I'm just Bryan. I'm just some dude now,
Yeah.
and what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life? And so,
Yeah.
I
What's your
was always
purpose?
into the yeah, what's my purpose? So I know I was always into bikes. I always worked on bikes. Started out by working on my own shit, and and next you're working on your friends' stuff, and next they have friends who want to work on their stuff, and it just kind of goes from there. And me and Mikey met each other working at Harley, and we decided to start doing our own little side thing, and we're working on bikes out of my garage. And I ended up coming up with the name Fresno Two Wheel Garage, and we just kind of stuck with it. And
Yeah.
local shop in town last year, he was moving to San Diego, and he was looking to sell off his equipment. And he was like, hey, like, I have all this stuff, and he heard about us working out of the garage, and he's like, hey, well, why don't you guys come over here and take over my spot? And so, we met up and, handled out the details, and we made it happen.
That's
And
that's awesome.
yeah, we've been in business since July last year, and we actually just recently moved to a new location this July, a much bigger shop. We were in an 800 square foot shop, very
Oh
tiny.
wow.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
tiny.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like we had 3 lifts and that's it. You know, like that's all we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't even bring your lunchbox in.
no, dude, yeah, we were in there all the time, like nut to butt. You know.
Yeah.
And anyways, we ended up moving to this new location July this year, and it was just so much more space, able to breathe. I don't have to bump
Yeah.
into somebody trying to get to my lift, and just and then we ended up bringing on our apprentice Dre, and he's been picking up a lot and learning a lot about bikes and just
Yeah.
just doing the damn thing and having a good time.
Yeah, dude, that's and like that's what it's all about to me, dude. Like, again, we go through those hard days, but fuck, dude, if you ain't having fun doing this shit, fuck
Yeah,
it.
it's
You
not
know what
worth
I
it.
mean? I'll
Yeah,
do
dude, you
something
gotta have
else or
fun.
yeah. I can go wash windows and probably make more money.
Yeah, no, it's straight
Like
ahead, yeah. It's not about the money, like you said, it's
nah.
about dude, it's the passion that keeps us going and just doing dope shit and putting dope parts on bikes and just
Yeah.
making bikes dope, just
Yeah,
it's
dude.
fuck.
It's fun, man. It's community, dude. I mean, and I've been fortunate, dude. I've met some of the best people I've ever known in my life in this community. You know what I mean? And like people that you know, uh, it, that I'll have lifetime friends. Even if I have people that I've met from this community that if I stop riding motorcycles tomorrow, never ride a motorcycle again, we're still going to be friends. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's yeah, dude. I've met some shitbags too, but they're in here. They're doing their
Yeah,
damn thing too.
for
But
sure, dude. Anywhere you go, dude, you'll never fail to meet yourself a fucking dirtbag.
yeah,
Never.
but they get weeded out pretty quick. It seems like which is nice. And it's just I don't know, man. It is a great community. Dude. I love it. I fucking love it. Again, love what we do. I love every day of my life doing this shit.
Oh
And
yeah, dude, me too, man, dude. And honestly, I'm just super grateful for like all the people that support us out here in Fresno. Ever since we
yep,
we opened the shop, dude, it's been nothing but love. The community, the riding community in Fresno is huge and it's really
yeah,
tight knit. Like there's a lot of people that know each other, that ride with each other. Word of mouth is crazy out here. Like
yeah,
you do a good job for somebody and you got three other people coming to talk to you like, hey, you worked on my buddy's bike, you did this, and it's crazy. Like it's crazy because I never thought that it would get to this point, like to where, dude, there was one time that I got pulled over by a cop, and I was a little bit on the sauce, a little bit, and dude, he was super cool. I had my hoodie on, and he was like, "Who do you know at Fresno Two Wheel Garage?" And I'm like thinking, like, motherfucker, me, like I'm
yeah.
him, like, what do you
I'm
mean?
the guy.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh man, you guys did some work on this and that on my bike last year," and I guess he had talked to my partner, and I was like, "Oh yeah, 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 cool." And he was like, "Yeah, man, go ahead, get home safe." And I was like, "Thank God, say less. I'm out of here."
Yeah.
But dude,
Fuck.
man, I'm telling you, Fresno, it's big town, big city, small town vibes, man.
Yeah.
People know each other out here. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. I mean, like again, we just met, this last October at Kernville, man, and it was we've been kind of chopping it up ever since then. And you've been an awesome dude to talk to, and we can definitely knock out another one of these podcasts when we get this studio going because I feel like we
Dude,
could just sit here and talk all fucking night.
dude, all day. Like dude, it's crazy because I was like, what are we even gonna talk about? Like, I've never done one of these before. So I'm like, what do I even say? What do we talk about? And I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with the flow. That's what I've
yeah,
realized in my life, dude. I just go with the flow, and
yeah.
somehow it just works out.
I got a weird gift about making people comfortable. When you just start fucking going, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I remember at Kernville, like I was pretty sauced up, but you were super cool. I remember,
Yeah,
dude. I remember we were at the bar. It was already towards the end of the night, so there was not that
yep,
many whiskey cokes left. But I
yep,
went up there, got me a little refill, and then you weren't busy because dude, all night you were fucking pouring them up all night.
yep,
And
yep.
then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to Steve. Fuck it, why
Yeah.
not? I had the liquid courage in me. I'm like, I'm just gonna go there and talk to him. Fuck it. And dude, you were just so cool. You were a regular dude. Slip
Yep.
contact information. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm like, dude, I feel like I just talked to like a mini celebrity. Like, what the fuck? Like, and he was cool. He was super cool. Like, he was just a regular dude. You know?
Yep, yep, all day, bro.
Yeah.
Again,
So,
I mean, I'm fortunate, and I wouldn't be here without people like you. I wouldn't be here without our audience. I wouldn't be here doing nothing, dude. I'd be, a piece of shit doing something else somewhere else. You know what I mean?
yeah, straight up, dude. Straight up, dude.
But I don't take this shit for granted one bit, man. Like I'm super thankful for everybody. So I always just want to show love to
Yes.
everybody
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
create this community and be part of this community, man, and fucking make it stronger. That's it.
Yeah, straight up, dude. Yeah, I mean that's the only way, man. I mean, you show love, you get love,
Yep.
and that's just the way it is. Like you said, you put whatever you put out, that's what you're gonna get back. So
Exactly.
if you're a
All
fucking
day.
dickhead, people are gonna treat you like a fucking dickhead. But when you're cool,
Yep.
everybody's cool.
Exactly, brother. Well, man, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me, man. I had nothing but it was a pleasure chopping it up with you. I know we're gonna do this again because, man, it was way too easy. And
Dude, yeah, for sure. No, dude.
if you,
Whenever, dude, let me know.
yep, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. If you need anything from me, you know how to get a hold of me. I'll do anything I can do to support you guys and fucking, help things go in your direction. But nothing but love, man. And it's been a pleasure fucking talking to you. And thank you, man.
No, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate your time, and man, thanks for having me on, man.
Hell yeah,
Looking forward to
brother.
next time.
I'll talk to you again soon.
All right, brother.
All right, later. Thank you guys.
All right, man. Late.